Will you still need me? Will you still love me when I'm 64? Bum, 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 bum. Coffee with Scruff time, boys and girls. And we're kind of going to answer that question. Do you have the aptitude for trading? And will you still love me when you're 64? Roll the intro and I'll explain. And a warm welcome, one and all. If you've never seen Coffee with Scruff before, it's really just whatever thoughts are rattling around my head on a weekend while I'm having a coffee and a bit of a break from the charts. Now, this week's Coffee with Scruff might be a little bit odd, and some will get it and some won't. And I'll kind of give you an idea of what I mean by some will get it and some won't. Just take a quick look at this comment.
Matron, take them away.
Okay, this guy regularly puts in sarky, horrible sort of messages. He'll never get it.
Bring on the dancing girls. Get rid of this idiot.
Fuck you, off.
For me, the way that it's coming across, we're actually here to learn something. We want to hear your rants, blah, blah, blah. There's a couple of things that come into this. One, I'm not a teacher. I do YouTube because I enjoy it and it just keeps me busy while I'm doing my job. Now, I'm going to emphasize job quite a bit in this because I'm going to get on to the realities of trading. The other part of it is clearly is jumping from channel to channel to channel to channel, not really putting any thought into it, looking for a magic pill. So again, never going to make it.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
This isn't my fault. If you don't like what I do, I was right in what I'm saying, don't watch it. If you can't be respectful to somebody, how on earth do you expect them to be respectful to you? Because, yeah, sometimes I do one-to-ones and one thing another. This guy ever booked one, I cancel it. I wouldn't do it. Came into the squad, I'd kick him out straight away. Because if they're like this before you know them, they're going to be a nightmare after you know them. So the answer is, don't have anything to do with them.
Get your ass out of here.
The markets have that attitude with you as well. If you don't treat the markets with absolute respect, it'll eat you alive. And not only will it eat you alive, it'll cost you a fortune. So when I'm being brutal and sort of saying, there's no way I'm going to help this guy, I'm actually doing them a favour.
Are you serious?
Because they haven't got the aptitude to trade. Now I'm going to show you a couple of polls. And then I think we'll go down in the kitchen and I'll make myself a coffee and I'll give you some of my thoughts. You see, trading is not about the magic pill. A lot of people are looking for the super system. They'll see the flash cash and you'll see everybody go, oh, look at my amazing account. Oh, look at my wonderful car. Yeah? So what? Doesn't mean anything. One of the richest men on the planet drives a crappy second-hand car. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in the 60s. He's far better than all of us, but he lives a normal life. Doesn't fly around in Lamborghinis and stuff like that. I don't. I live in a normal house. Just drive a second-hand car, nice house, nice area. Go on lots of holidays, and I enjoy my life. Because it's up here. I have the aptitude to do the job.
Isn't that logical?
Now, it wasn't always like that for me. And that's one of the things I'm going to touch on. But let me just show you these polls. So if I flick over, and you kind of come over into the front page of the Scruffy Squad on YouTube. If you want to see what the Scruffy Squad is, there's a walk around here. It'll tell you everything about it before you ever come into it. Because I've had that question a few times, and I think, well, it's on the front page, just look at it. But go to community and you'll see there's various little posts. I'm literally just coming back from holiday today. And there. But we're looking at these sort of polls here, just to give you an idea. So how many products should you trade a day? Now, some people are saying 10 plus. To me, that's ludicrous. That's not doing the job. That's actually gambling, searching round the market, desperate to trade something. Personally, I agree with the majority here. 2 to 3 products a day. 4 to 6 at an outskirt set. But one of the better things, which I was quite pleased to see, was 26% of you think it's 1. I think that's probably one of the better tracks to take. So the first 2 are somewhere where we like. Personally, I monitor a basket of products, but I only trade one at a time. I would never dream of trading multiple products at once. Pick the best of the bunch and then zone into it. But out of those products, there's only a handful that I look at. Now, when we go back, I had a great lodge. This is one of the questions I'm going to come back to. All right, but there was a couple of other polls that I put up. How many products a day? Where we are? There we are. That's the other one I'm looking for. In one of my videos, I said scalpers don't make it. And what I mean by a scalper, it's somebody who does 2 to 3 ticks and they'll do it 20 to 30 times a day. I'm nearly 20 years into this industry and I know a lot of professional traders, and if you look around, you'll see that I'm invited to do things quite regularly because I'm well known. At the moment, BlackBull have me on the panel for sentiment. Here, I'll show you.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay, so on the BlackBull website, and if you want to try BlackBull as a broker, there's links for them down below. They're looking for sentiment over what's going to happen in the US election next month. Now, if you come all the way down, you'll see they have a sentiment marker here. But I'm actually on the panel as to the predictions of what's going to happen over the course of the next month. Now, they wouldn't invite me unless they kind of trust what I think I'm going to do. So I'm quite pleased with that. Now, I speak to these guys regular, and as I do other people, nobody's seen a scalper make it, not in the long term. They might do it in the short term, 12 months, 18 months, but once you start getting into 5 and 10 years, no. So I'll stand by what I say. Now, here, 89% of you think that it's not long-term sustainable. So you are thinking the right things and you're thinking the right lines. Now, what I want to come back to is this. And I know it was a roundabout way of getting there. And the question is very simple. Can you spend 24 hours a day with your other half, your wife, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, when money is tight? And that's when the pressure's really on, and still have a smile on your face. 61% of you say yes, and 39% of you say no. Right. The 39% that said no are going to have a real hard time in the trading environment. Massive hard time. Now, I'm going to explain this, but the ones who said yes, they've got a chance. So let's go down, grab a coffee, and I'll kind of talk as we go. And I'm going to put some context into what I'm talking about. Because when I say trading is not just about the charts, it's not. And if you think it is, you're doomed to failure. Let's go get a coffee. Okay, so when I'm saying people are doomed for failure, let me get down the stairs without breaking my neck. I kind of mean it because, how do I put this? It's not get rich quick. It really isn't. And you've got to excuse me. I've got like 3 floors in this house, and it takes us forever to get down into the bloody kitchen. But anyway, so let us wander through. They are genuinely doomed to failure. because they haven't got what it takes to do the job. Okay guys, so I got the coffee and I'm going to kind of explain aptitude of job. Now, what do I mean by aptitude of job? Well, it's how you handle yourself. But not only how you handle yourself, how you handle others. Because this is the most stressful job you'll ever have. Genuinely is. Why? Because there's a lot at stake at any one time. If you're looking to have this as a career, not just put a few quid away for savings, I actually mean as your job. This is the only job that not only does it not pay you, it takes money off you. So you're constantly against the pressure. This is why I brought up the wife situation. Because, well, let's go in the front room and we'll explain this. If you're with your other half and the pressure's on and they're nagging at you all the time, how can you concentrate? You can't, is the answer. You'll argue, you'll fight, you'll have a bad day, and then when you have that bad day, you'll take it out on the person who should be supporting you. And this is why I'm asking you about money being tight. So let's grab a seat and we'll discuss it. Okay, so I'll try and put this into decent terms. There's very good reason why I showed you what I showed you. Now, there's a good friend of mine, Fossil. Little salute to you, kid. I love you to bits. He said something to me once, and I think it was his aunt who told him. When you look at the masses, one of the things that they think is this. When I have nothing, let's share. When I have something, it's mine. Okay. That attitude is the attitude of the comment that I showed you at the start. They will put nothing into the community. They will do nothing for anybody but themselves. So what does that mean? Well, it means they have a freeloading mentality. So people will shun them because they'll see that. They've also got quite a nasty mentality because they won't do something for anybody else. Now, if you are of a freeloading mentality, that means you're not going to give something back and you want everything for nothing. Trading is not like that. With trading, you have to give every day. You're giving your will to the markets, you're giving your money to the markets, and then you have to apply one thing that was lacking there: respect. So if you go to the markets with respect and you understand what's going on, the markets will actually look after you because you work in synergy as a partnership. It's a funny way of looking at things, but they do, because the markets need you to interact with them in order to move. But if you're being selfish and you want big returns out of it all the time, eventually you find the market is a very cruel mistress, as a good sort of way of looking at it, because it might be fun and exciting, but when it comes to the end, everything goes badly wrong.
Crazy bitch!
Now that takes me to the flip side. And it's why I asked the question, are you happy with your partner when money is tight? Now, my story is pretty well documented. It's not a sob story. It's just a way of life, and it's something that happened. 2017, I lost my factory. You know, I had a lot of employees, had more money than I knew what to do with, and through one thing and another, the company closed, market forces, and we lost the lot. But I had one thing on my side, which is Joanne, Winky. Although, if you talk to her at the time, it wasn't very nice, but we were tightly bonded. We got through the hard times and we had nothing. Literally, zip. Had to start again from 47. 47-year-old, I had to start again. Mountain to climb, which is why I kind of live a little bit humble now. I live in a normal house, second-hand car, go on reasonable holidays, but I don't flash the cash anywhere near like what I used to. Why? Because I was arrogant. I was horrible. And I'm the first to admit it when I look back at it. Because I had money and it was a case of, I don't give a shit, you know. And as Joanne used to say, one of my catchphrases was, well, I've got a big car and a sexy wife. What do I care? I was like that. And it's not a good person to be. What a twat. The one thing is, Joanne knows who I am deep down. She calls me the big bear. And I suppose I am the big bear. Teddy bear. So I'm not angry or anything like that. But when I lost everything, it didn't half humble me. It humbled me to the ground. And it took me back to where I came from, which is something you should never forget. I came from a council estate. I never should forget that. And I never will. You know, it taught me a good lesson. Anyway, rambling a bit. But because Joanne and I were tight, we got through it. And she saw the pressures that I was under. And we had little joy in our life at the time because we couldn't go on holiday. We couldn't go to the cinema. Our joy had to come from within. And that was each other. Every day I look at that woman and I thank my lucky stars how lucky I am. Because what she went through was unbelievable. You know, to be flying high one day, nothing the next. Now, to men, you just call an idiot and you get on with it. It's a big drop for a lady. So I made it my mission to give her it back. And I've done it. It's taken me 7 years, but I've done it. But I couldn't have done it without her. She supported me the entire way. But if she was fighting against me, there's no way I could have rebuilt the accounts in the time that I did. Because she knew what I was trying to do was a better expectation. So for the percentage that said yes, I can smile with my other half when money's tight. You guys have a real good chance because you'll have a support network in your own home. And without it, you're finished. Now, if you haven't got that support network, you need a big account and you also need to be able to hit the road running day one. If you haven't, you're going to find this job is really hard. Then you're going to turn into what I showed you at the beginning. And it's not something you want to become. You want to be part of the community. And when I mean the community, I mean the big picture, not my community, just the big picture of trading. It's a lonely place, trading. And a lot of people won't get it. But the one thing you need to do is ensure your partner does get it. I asked Joanne the other day what I did for a living.
Do you want to know what my life's all about? Let's ask Winky a little question, shall we? Do you actually know what I do for a living?
Yeah, you watch Wiggly Lines and Books Holiday.
Wiggly Lines and Boots Holidays?
Yeah. So I can go shopping.
Oh, fuck me. And you wonder why I'm bald.
And she's happy. That's what she thinks I do. That's what I do. But she knows the amount of time that I put into it. She knows the amount of discipline that I put into it. And she respects it. She doesn't look at it as gambling. Whereas I have family members who think I play video games for a living. Yin and the yang. So the Coffee with Scruff today was really just to get you to look at your internal sort of workings away from the chart. Are you in a happy home? Yes. Would my partner understand if I lost some money? Yes. Would I understand if I lost some money? Yes. And if you answered no to any of them questions, you need to rethink what you're doing. Because trading will emotionally drain you as much as financially drain you. And if that's affecting your other half, trading can be as destructive as it is creative. And you must be aware of it. Don't be sucked in by the flashy lights. Don't just think, oh, I've seen somebody and they go, oh, look at my £300,000 account. Well, it's a prop account, so it's not 300,000. It's only a couple of grand, which you could fund yourself. So you've got to be a bit careful of that. And ultimately, it doesn't matter what the winnings are. It's what you bank. It's what you put into the bank account each month. You see me do my reviews at the end of each month. I'll be doing one this week about the small account. It banks every month. Builds up the Vanguard. The Vanguard is now paying around 10 grand a year for doing nothing. And you saw me build that up 2.5 years ago. And it now pays 10 grand for doing zip. Jack all. Because it's built. Small account building up makes that Vanguard bigger. So my yearly payment will get bigger. It's all in the foundation. But it was 2.5 years in the planning. Just a thought. So I'll cherish your thoughts. Do you think trading is emotional? Or do you genuinely think you take 2 or 3 pips a day and you're going to be rich? Interesting question. Because most people will go the easy route and say, yeah, scalpers are going to make it. They get in, it's exciting, it's the casino, woohoo!
I'd buy that for $1.
But I'm still here in 7 years. You've seen my journey over the last 7 years, because I started recording this when I started getting my account built. And I've been on YouTube now 6 years. And you've seen it day in, day out, day in, day out. When I'm with the Scruffy Squad, no rollback charts, I use live charts all the time. Why? Because it's my job and I'm not pressured by it. I enjoy it. But then you roll it back to what you saw at the start, and that's where the squad came from. Because I ain't going to help people like that. I've got no desire to. But there's one person I'll always help. And it doesn't matter how bad this world is or what the world throws at me. Be Joanne. She's number one. She supported me through some of the worst times of my life. And I'll ensure she has a good life. And that's why I asked, can you survive and smile when money is tight? Just the thoughts of a fat old man on a Saturday afternoon, making a coffee and pondering whether or not what he does is worthwhile. Who knows? Anyway, guys, as always, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.